Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Badass Marketing. I am joined once again by my co-host, Angela Duns. Angela, how are you?
I'm great today. How are you, Mike?
I am good. We've survived Halloween, and that was quite the undertaking. But having survived Halloween, that means we're rapidly jumping into the holiday season.
I don't know
We
how. I don't
I don't
know
know how
how.
either, because you know, it feels like it was just Christmas last year, and here we are,
July.
and
It
it's
was
ready for
just the
Christmas again.
yes. Yep.
Um, So, we are in the midst of it. So, we are about a week away from Thanksgiving, which then is immediately followed by Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and today's topic, which is sort of near and dear to my heart, which is Shop Local Saturday. And this is about supporting and shopping at your local retailers on Saturday. If you're interested in this particular topic or you want to promote the idea of shopping local, the hashtags are hashtag shop small, hashtag small business Saturday or SAT. But the idea is to promote the idea of shopping locally, shopping at your local merchants. So we're very excited about this. So what are you going to do for uh, Shop Local Saturday?
I'm actually going on a road trip with my bestie down the coast.
Okay, so while you may not shop your local, you may be shopping local as you drive along the
Just,
coast.
yeah, maybe an hour away or so. Half Moon Bay is one of our favorite destinations, and that's a great place to do some holiday shopping.
What is it? Barber's Clam Shack?
Pardon?
Barber's
Eh,
Clam Shack at Half Moon Bay?
If that's on the way, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I would love the Clam Shack. Clam Shack. If you're ever driving down the one, which it goes down the coast of California, and you find yourself in Half Moon Bay or entering, I think it's about as you're entering Half Moon Bay, the Clam Shack there is wonderful. It's really, really good. And basically you get your chowder and you sit on the beach and you look at the ocean and have your chowder, which is kind of cool. There's a brewery across the street, so that's available as well. We love Half Moon Bay, and again, supporting local, so local restaurant, local brewery, those types of things are available as you travel down the coast. What is your destination as you go down the coast?
Um, we usually just have no agenda at all when we do this.
Okay,
She and I are both going to be looking for some Christmas presents to send to our family back in the Midwest. And
I'll send you my
w-
list.
there's nothing like picking up something that's unique or um, original from an artist or a craftsman that's in Half Moon Bay or any of the lovely places that you can stop along the way.
Yeah, I mean, we would go down to Half Moon Bay, keep going, go down to Carmel. There's some great local artists, artists in that area as well. Um, we were just down in Half Moon Bay for the Pumpkin Fest, and they have quite the
That is
huge
like
pumpkin fest.
world's biggest
It
pumpkin
is.
fest
It's killer. Like, you know, it is probably the worst traffic parking nightmare you've ever experienced.
in your
Um,
life.
in your life, other than the Bay Bridge these days. But it is well worth it once you get there. We had a great time. We thought we were smart because we're not that far away, so we opted not to drive, and because we knew the parking was going to be a nightmare. We went last year, and parked about 5 miles away and walked. And I have a daughter who at the time was 11 who was not thrilled with that concept. So this year we thought we'd be smart and we took a lift down, and that was great. So it got us there, dropped us off. Life was perfect. So we're sort of patting ourselves on the back, thinking how smart we are that we figured out how to overcome all this traffic challenge. The problem is when we tried to get home, the lift was still stuck in the same traffic, right? So it took, I think, an hour and a half for the poor lift guy to come down to Half Moon Bay to come get us. So it still turned into a bit of a traffic nightmare, but it was great. And there's some really great little shops down there. There is, have you been to the feed and grain store down there?
Yes.
One of my favorites, right? Just the feed and grain store is great. Again, there's a whole bunch of great food and stuff like that. It's a great little town. Um, and it's really, they do a really good job for their pumpkin fest.
Pretty fun stuff.
So shop local, this is an opportunity to support local merchants and to support people in your community, whether it be restaurants, whether it be bars, whether it be retailers, what have you. And just to try to remember to add that into the mix when you're looking for your holiday gifts. I mean, this is, it's a nice thing to do, but it's also really a good experience because, for instance, near us, there is still a local bookshop. And as tempting it is to just run to Amazon and save a couple bucks and, have Prime deliver it and all that kind of stuff, nothing matches the experience about walking into a bookshop and like picking up a book, feeling it, looking at it, maybe reading a page or two, to decide what you want to buy and just sort of browse, through the bookstore, which is not something that you experience online, that sensation.
And usually the employees know the latest and greatest of all the books, and they can point you to something that you might not have known about or considered if you hadn't talked to somebody, a human being.
Yeah, so I was in the bookstore last night because I was actually promoting Local Saturday, and the owner of the bookstore is a friend of mine. It's the SF Castle in Bernal Heights, in case anybody is wondering. But I went in and she was busy with the customer, so I just kind of hung out and waited. And she was so the customer was looking for a book that was out of print that had been around. And I think that she spent somewhere near 15 to 20 minutes trying to figure out what this book was. And the woman didn't exactly have the title right. Go figure.
It has a
A
blue
little
cover.
off, but she did know the author, so like they were able to go down that path. But like, you just don't, that's customer service, right? She took the time and was, trying to help this woman find the book that she was looking for. It's something that's out of print, so it's not going to be an easy find. I don't know that they were ultimately successful in finding this book, but she took the woman's information and email and said she would continue to work on it, and I believe she will, to see if she can actually find this and locate this book. And that's just an experience that, she clearly Amazon's not going to do that for you, or any of the big retailers. So, we have said, and I think we said it in the last episode, that the big differentiator for local and small businesses or any business is customer service. And, the customer service that you get when you walk into a small business, particularly if the person behind the counter is the owner, like you said, they know their inventory, they know how to, service their clients. It's just, it's just, worlds above shopping online. And, I will admit that I'm as guilty as anyone else that when I'm in a hurry, I do shop online and I do like it. And we promote online businesses. So we're not opposed to shopping online, but we're suggesting through Local and Small Business Saturday that you incorporate the local businesses in the mix for your holiday shopping.
Yes. Yes, for sure. I mean, and even wineries, small boutique wineries have things that you can't get anywhere else. And you just never know what, unique experiences are something that are cut above when you're trying to do gift giving. For that person that's impossible to find something for, something unique, something different, something local is always a good bet.
And also just the experience of being in the community. So for instance, we do a holiday stroll in the first week of December. So this is an opportunity, and like you go and you run into your neighbors who, for whatever reason, you don't see the rest of the year, but you see them on the holiday stroll. I reached out to the merchants because we're writing some articles around what's going on locally, and said, what are you guys doing? What's your deal for, Local Saturday? What kind of deals are you offering for Black Friday? We reached out to the restaurants and said, are you open Thanksgiving? What are you doing? Some of them are having, unique prefix menus. Some of them, one of the restaurants has a big outdoor space, and we're in California, so you won't freeze your ass off if you're outside in November. So every night from Tuesday before Thanksgiving through the weekend, they're doing family movies on the patio. And this,
That's
these are
so
just the
awesome.
experiences. of being part of your local community and, supporting your local merchants to go out and see and they in return support the community through either through movies or, other offerings. So it's been really great to, reach out to the merchants, reach out to the bars, reach out to the restaurants to see what they're doing. And then we promote that, as a community. One of the bars is doing a Krampus event. Do you know Krampus?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Exactly. Explain that to our listeners, for those who aren't versed
Well,
in who he
it's
is.
isn't it a German tradition? It
It
doesn't
is
have its
German.
so there's this creature that is a little bit left over from Halloween who's kind of dressed up like Santa Claus. Um, it's kind of scary, but it's interesting, and I don't really even know what the purpose of it is, but I know what he looks like.
Yeah, I mean, so when I think of this, what I'm thinking of is the Grimm fairy tales, which are always very dark, right, and very German. And Krampus, I don't know that he's Grimm. I don't think he's Grimm, but it's sort of along the lines of the Grimm fairy tale where it has dark. And Krampus is, sort of he is the anti-Santa Claus for bad boys and girls. So, if you
Lump
haven't been
of
good, you don't
coal.
get Santa, you get Krampus. And you don't want Krampus at your house. So very German, very Grimm fairy tale darkness. But they're doing an event and it's a costume party for the best Krampus. So and I'm terribly, terribly disappointed because we have another event the same evening. As folks, once you get into the holiday season, it's just competing events. So we're doing a tree lighting that evening somewhere else in the community. So we won't go to Krampus because we'll be lighting a tree, which is wonderful unto itself. But it's these are just some of the great things that are going on. We have tree lightings, we have I think there's going to be a menorah. There's a whole bunch of diversity aspects around different holidays and different cultures. And then there's Krampus, so just the German scary Santa. There you go
Yes,
for diversity, right?
that's so funny. Yes. Well, and we just passed Diwali. Diwali started on Sunday, so last Sunday. So
Yeah.
lots of, and that is all about lighting lamps as well. So
Right.
there's just so many choices of unique different things that you can participate in. And where do memories really come from? That movie night at that restaurant that you were talking about. Wow. Kids will remember that for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had the luxury of living in different countries, so we've been able to incorporate some of the traditions. We've lived in Germany, so we're well versed in the German traditions, and there's nowhere in the world like the German Christmas markets. They're just so magical. And then they have a couple other events that I think are primarily German. So I think right after Thanksgiving. They have the Lantern celebration, which is related to Martin Luther. And then they have St. Nicholas, which I think is December 6th, where the kids will put their shoes outside the door and get little gifts and candies in the shoes. Then to counter that, we have our Latino culture, and my partner is Latino. So we do the Epiphany on January 6th and the Coming of the Kings. And when we left Germany, we moved to Barcelona. So January 6th was a big, big day there. Their Christmas markets. So in Germany, the Christmas markets open right after Thanksgiving and run to about mid-December. Because the focus in Spain is around the Epiphany and January 6th, their Christmas markets actually opened the day after Christmas and ran through January 6th, which was always a little strange because it's like nothing before Christmas, but they don't celebrate the 25th, they celebrate the 6th. So there's the celebration, and they would do a big parade, which felt very Mardi Gras like, because they would throw candy and that type of stuff for the coming of the kings, to celebrate the coming of the kings. So there was different cultures have different ways of celebrating this.
That's so interesting. It's really fascinating. I spent a year in Slovakia and they have very, very different. I mean, yes, they celebrate Christmas, but they do it in a little bit different fashion than we do here. And it's just so fun to share those stories. And It's actually interesting because out in West Marin, there is a Slavic community. And so you see some of the very typical decorations that are made out of wheat, actually.
Hmm.
And some of the other things that you would see more in Eastern Europe or in some of the Slavic countries. And I absolutely love everybody's interpretation of this and hearing the stories behind it. And sometimes a gift that has stories surrounding it is so much more of a treasured thing than if it doesn't have stories that go with it.
So we were in a networking event our networking group last year, and we were there are two traditions in Barcelona, and and forgive me because this was supposed to be about local Saturday and we've managed to land in Europe, but we'll go back to local Saturday, I promise. But there were two traditions in Barcelona that that are very uniquely, I think, Barcelona or at least Spain. One is the Christmas log. Have you heard of this guy?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I think that's French as well.
Is it? Yeah. So would you know do you know like the tradition around that?
I've heard it, but please remind me. I've forgotten.
Yeah, I forget the name of the Christmas log. I'll have to look that one up and I'll put it in the notes. But so they have a Christmas log, and you put the Christmas log out early December, and then what you do is you leave candy and for the Christmas log, and the Christmas log theoretically eats the candy. And then on Christmas Day, you get a stick and you beat the Christmas log. This is a happy story. You beat the Christmas log, and then he poops out gifts.
That's
And
hilarious. That is not what I have heard before.
yeah, so there's that. And then there's this little guy, and it's a figurine that you see all over Spain of this little guy pooping, right? And so the referral group, and I forget what his name is too, because it's been a while, but he's a very common figurine. You actually see him outside of restaurants and stores, this little figurine of this guy taking a poop, which is, other
That's
than Spain, you would think this
hilarious.
is offensive, but in Spain it works apparently. And one of the members in the networking group, I had told him this story. He's like, "Oh, I have to have one of those. I have to have one of those." Right. So I actually got him one and sent him one from Spain. And this was his, like our Christmas gift exchange. I sent him the little pooping guy, and I got a really nasty note from his wife who was like, this thing's offensive. So can't please everybody. So he loved it. The wife hated it. But then, so I was like, all right, so I'm getting a poop theme from Spain. And I was like, what the hell? Why is there so many, references? And basically what it is, it is good luck for the farmers because the poop represents fertilizing the fields and stuff like that. So it's, all these pooping references are intended to, fertilizing the fields and a good harvest and their good luck. So this little guy is supposedly brings you good luck for the harvest while he's pooping in your yard or something. I don't know.
So interesting. When I was doing research on emojis, and especially the poop emoji is so controversial here in the United States, it's actually good luck in other countries. In China, it means good health. May you
Yeah.
have good health. So that whole thing, while it
Good
might
poop
be,
is good health. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
if it might be offensive here, it is actually the opposite in other cultures.
Yeah. So having traveled around the world, can we come back to local Saturday?
Yes.
We,
What are
we
your
gotta
plans?
love when we go off on tangents that are totally unrelated to the topic, but they're related to the holidays, but not so specific. So what are some of your ideas about supporting local Saturday and supporting local merchants?
Well, I live 4 blocks from 4th Street in San Rafael. So I can walk there anytime I want. And I really try to do that year round. There's a bookstore that's less than 4 blocks from my house. There's lots of different places that are very unique and very interesting, including restaurants and bars. So I'm always planning on doing as much as I can that close to home.
And are you aware of anything happening specifically on the 25th around Shop Local?
I haven't found out about anything yet. And like I
Okay.
said, we're not going to be here in San Rafael all day that day. We're heading
Mm.
down to Half Moon Bay, which I'm sure will be full of people who are looking for a
Who
destination
are
on the
shopping local
weekend.
but not locally.
Yes, yes. I mean, that drive down Pacific Highway 1 is always a thrill.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, some of the things that we're doing to support, we're using the hashtags. So what we're strongly recommending is if you go out and you do support a merchant, take a picture, put it on Instagram, add a shop local, shop small Saturday, those types of things, small business Saturday, to promote the day, even though we should support local businesses year round, as well as supporting the local merchant going into the holiday season. We have organized a holiday stroll. On another corridor, we're doing a bingo. And basically, we've created a bingo card where, for each, have a drink here, buy something there, check out play a pinball at outer orbit, those types of things. And as you fill in your card, there'll be some prizes at the end of the event. So we've created a bingo card that is specific to the corridor, the local corridor, probably including about 30 or so merchants or so on the bingo card. And as you visit different merchants or go to different establishments, whether it be a restaurant or a bar, they will, punch your card and you have opportunities to win. So we're really excited about the bingo game. We're excited about the Christmas stroll as a means to support local merchants.
That's fantastic. I love the bingo thing. That's just give people an incentive to go to as many places as possible.
Right. And because, what happens is for most of us, we go to the one place that we want to go to and then we go home. And then the bingo card is hopefully like once you're there, like, well, go across the street, go do this, go do that, and sort of showcase what's going on. So, and then we have the movie night. We have, like I said, some of the restaurants are doing the local taqueria is doing their annual tamales. So we're actually very excited
Oh
about that as
my,
well.
oh, that's so awesome.
Right. So we're promoting that, the tamales are back. So we're going to promote that. There is a theater that does magic shows, and they're having some special Christmas stuff and holiday stuff. So, really just sort of reminding people what's in the neighborhood, reminding people that, what's on the corridor. Because we all go to we might go to the local grocery and pick up something and run in and run out, but this is an opportunity to sort of explore some of the things. We're working with the bookstore to do some stuff around the holidays and do some promotions. Was in the Bernal Beast, which is the pet store, yesterday, talking to them about it and what they're going to do. And of course, that's all going to be, dog, cat friendly type of holiday stuff. I think there's a dog parade for the holidays and stuff like that. So, yeah,
That's
your
hilarious.
cats would be invited, but I don't know that that would be a very conducive environment with that many dogs.
My cats don't care about dogs as long as the dogs are cool about that. And Bellamy has his own little Santa hat and scarf that he is extremely proud to show off at any
Of course he
opportunity.
does. Of course he does.
Lincoln won't play that game, but Bellamy wants to show off his little hat and scarf.
So just a reminder, November 25th is Small Business Saturday, and we want you to go out and support your local merchants. Remember to support them both in person, and then when you shop, take a picture, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter or X or whatever that's called these days. Use some hashtags to do that as well. Go out and explore your local community. And support your local community. And, we're not suggesting that you don't shop online. We're suggesting you add this to the mix. There's Black Friday sales so that you can get up I think this Black Friday starts on Thanksgiving now, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
unfortunately. And even small local shops can have an online component.
sure. I mean, there's definitely that. But this is also an opportunity to just go out and visit your neighborhood and visit your community.
Find out
Um,
what the events are in your own local community.
right. So support small business, support shop local, especially around the holiday season. And we are going to take a break next week as we're off celebrating some turkey and we're shopping local. So we'll be very busy. And apparently Angela is going to be driving down the coast of California, take pictures,
Of course.
shop local, and put hashtags and share them on your social media so that we all know where you've been and how you supported shop local.
Fantastic. See you,
We will see everybody in
everybody.
2 weeks. We hope you have a great holiday. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the sales. Support local businesses on Saturday, November 25th, and we'll see you on the other side, probably in December.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.